What's good, everybody? What's going on, man? It's Stephen Qualls II, aka Mr. Qualified. It's your boy, and we're back with another episode of Qualified TV, man. Hey, I tell y'all all the time, every guest is special. But look, listen. Whenever I get a guest from the crib, y'all know it's different. Y'all know it hit different. I'm gonna let my guest introduce himself, then we're gonna hop right into the interview. But yeah, let the people know a little bit more about you, man.
What's up, man? What's up? It's your boy Wave Chapelle. You know what I'm saying? I'm originally from Milwaukee. Grew up on the north side, all areas, you feel me, from Villard to, you know what I'm saying, uptown, the whole nine. Yeah, man, I'm an artist, you know what I'm saying? I'm a rap artist. Man, content creator, creative in general, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, bro, that's just a little bit about me, you know what I'm saying?
Of course. Yeah, no, we'll let them figure everything out, figure
Yeah,
everything else out in the rest of the interview. But
for
yeah, man,
sure.
let's just start at the beginning. So,
Mhm.
and being an artist,
Mhm.
don't want to pigeonhole you into one genre. But when did you
Yeah.
realize that music, in general, was something that your heart was in, was something that you felt you actually wanted to make a career out of?
Man, I would probably say probably around like fourth grade, bro. I think so like I come from an artistic family. Like my mom is a painter, you know what I'm saying? She's always been into art. My dad was actually a rapper, you know what I'm saying? My dad is Mr. Do It to Death. Um, and that's like 90s era, like Milwaukee hip hop. So I think just naturally, being around like artsy, artsy family, music is always around. And like my family, we grew up on hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of families they play like R&B music or soulful music and stuff. We was straight hip hop, you know what I'm saying? So I think about fourth grade, this is around the time when Jay-Z dropped Blueprint and around the time Kanye dropped College Dropout. It was just like, bro, those two albums for me, those did it. You know what I'm saying? That was like, I was a creative writer, but then I heard Jay-Z rapping and he made it seem so cool to use his words in that way. So I was like, man, shit, I mean, I'm gonna become a rapper, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel that. Yeah, my house was definitely R&B and soul. Mom's was not black. She was not blasting none of the hip hop. She called it
Yeah,
rap. She wasn't for it at
yeah,
all. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But
yeah.
but no, I've noticed that as well. I've noticed that a lot of artists
Mm,
tend to have been writers, whether writing poetry or just creative writing in
yeah.
general. So when you first started doing creative writing,
Mm-hmm.
do you feel like you were already kind of writing raps and you didn't necessarily know it, or do you feel like there was a distinction where you was like, nah, I'm writing raps now, and I was just kind of doing creative writing before?
Yeah, so it was really like a crescendo, almost it started at like creative writing. I was writing like random stories, you know what I'm saying? Like literally just writing long like random stories, and then it turned into like poetry. Like, I was using my words to do like poems and haikus and stuff like that. And then I was just like, man, like in the process of writing, it's like you find the beat, you find, you know what I'm saying? And then those poems turn into raps, like full blown raps. So I think it kind of went like that. It was like creative writing, like random stories, and then it turned into poetry, and then that poetry turned into like full blown raps. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. That transition definitely makes sense.
Yeah, yeah,
What was the first rap that you wrote and you were kind of like, yeah, yeah, I'm gonna do something with this, or I'm at least,
yeah,
or even if it was like, nah, I want to get better at this because I know it's something
yeah.
there. When was that first moment for you?
Man, so okay, I can't tell that story without telling this one. So in eighth grade, I used to like I said, I grew up in a household full of rap. So I used to listen to Easy E a lot. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was in like eighth grade taking my mom's like Easy Does It CD, right? And I was listening to it. I memorized Boys in the Hood, because the boys in the hood are always hard, right? I memorized the whole verse, right? I went to school and I know the kids like my grade when they don't know these songs, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm getting off the whole Easy Does It verse, right? I'm getting off the verse at the lunch table, all of that. People thinking I'm freestyling, right? They're like, yo, like, bro's cold, like, he crazy. So, yeah, so I pretty much took that. So I took the verse from that song, but then I realized to myself, I'm like, well, I can't keep stealing Easy E verses, you know what I'm saying? So let me turn it into like my own rap. So I literally it was like woke up quick at about noon, just thought that I had to be in Compton soon. So I took that part and said, just thought that I had to be in Hampton soon. So pretty much I literally just took the skeleton of that verse and made it my own. And that's technically my first verse for real, like my first actual rap, which was like eighth grade. Um, But yeah, hell yeah, that's my first like actual rap was in 8th grade, and it was like a skeleton of like Boys in the Hood first verse.
For sure. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure. First of all, everybody's done that.
Yeah,
Everybody's done that at least once. So
yeah,
it's all good. But
yeah,
it's crazy how that kind of works. At least I've never wrote raps, but in writing
yeah.
poetry and doing creative writing myself, I always took inspiration from rap. And there's plenty of poems where I've taken like a song bar for bar and just kind of replaced it with something
Like
that meant something to me. And like that was, but it was telling my story. I just used
right,
it as a
right,
skeleton. So I definitely get it.
yeah.
So from 8th grade, going into high school, when
Mhm,
did you actually start the process of like going through and like, no, I'm trying to do my first project, whether that was an album, EP, whatever the case may be? What
mhm.
was it like, and kind of just take us through at that time what your thought process was and how you were looking at how you
Mhm.
wanted to do it, what you were hoping to get from whatever the project was, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, so I actually started off in a group called Be Right, super, super, super early. So my freshman, like 8th grade, going into freshman year, it was me, my cousin Seven, and then two guys from High School of the Arts. One name was Gio, his rap name was Numani, and then Cherub. We had Cherub, who was like super, like he was like Andre 3000 to me. You know what I'm saying? Like bro was like super creative. And so I was actually learning from them dudes, you know what I'm saying? I would go to their sessions and just kind of watch how they create and stuff like that. So all my earlier tapes were like group tapes, you know what I'm saying? I was in a group. Um, and then eventually by my junior year, the group had dwindled down to three of us. It was me, Seven, and Cherub. And like, man, we was doing we did the 3D mixtape, which was crazy. We did 3D mixtape. We was throwing like listening parties and all that early, like early. We was on Tumblr going crazy with like the artwork and the photos and stuff. That was like our marketing thing. So yeah, 3D was my first tape. Ditto was our second one, and then Atlantis was like our last one, which was my senior year. And that was kind of Atlantis was when I was really coming into myself, like as an artist, really getting confident on the mic, getting confident with like my style and kind of knowing who I was as an artist. So yeah, that was pretty much my thing through high school. And I gotta throw this in there too. We won 3 Shepherd Express Awards through that whole run. You know what I'm saying? So like we
What's
was
up?
really making a dent. Yeah, yeah,
No, that's what's up for sure. And I mean, you hear of a lot of people I feel like that
mm-hmm.
are in groups like early on, especially when you think about Milwaukee artists actually. And
Yeah,
so not so much specific to the Milwaukee aspect, but just being in a group, especially in
mm-hmm.
those years, like those high school years where
Yep.
you're already developing like
Yeah,
a mindset and certain things as a person, as an individual, but also
yeah,
when you think about as an artist,
mm-hmm.
how did the group play a role in you kind of figuring out who you were? Like, did you have those moments, like you said, when the other members was like Andre 3000 to you? And of course,
Yeah,
like that's three stacks, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So what
yeah.
was it like having those members, and how exactly did they push you or help you hone what you started to define as like who you were as an artist?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, man, it was everything, bro. It was everything to be able to see like examples of like like I said, Chirp was super creative, and then my brother, my cousin, he's like 7. He was the brain. You know what I'm saying? Like he was the brain. He understood marketing, branding, like the importance of like having shows and having videos, like all of that. So I'm getting like these two aspects of being an artist like poured into me early. Like I'm seeing it in real time, you know what I'm saying? And so I would say it was super pivotal because most artists they kind of have to learn trial and error and just like try to like get the information offline or somewhere else. And I got these two guys that's kind of like really leading by example and I'm seeing it. You know what I'm saying? So I would say it's pivotal, man. It was everything for me because I'm gaining all this knowledge. So by the time I was ready to become like a solo artist or become Wave Chapelle, I was equipped with all these, you know what I'm saying, with all these things that I learned from my group mates. So yeah, bro, it was everything, man. Salute to both of them, man. Cause you don't get Wave Chappelle without the Be Right era, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, absolutely. That's what's up. Well, tell us about the Wave Chappelle era next. Tell us, how did that begin? Where's the name come from?
Yeah.
And what were the first kind of like ventures as a solo artist for you?
Yeah. So right when I graduated from Mesmer High School, by the way. Shout out to Mesmer, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so once I graduated, I um I had a conversation with my cousin Seven, and he was like, bro, I had an opportunity to go University of Memphis.
Mhm.
but I really didn't want to. I felt so bad. I was like, I didn't want to leave the group. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want to leave the city and leave my guys behind, because we have this thing where we like loyal to a fault almost. And
Yeah.
man, I never forget. We was in the kitchen. He was like, bro. He grabbed me by my shirt. He said, bro. He's like, you got to get out of here, bro. He's like, you talented. You got opportunity to like expand. He was like, you got to get out of here, bro. You got to go. Like, it ain't nothing for you here. Like, we've done all X, Y, and Z. Like, go expand, explore. And so that conversation right there led me to Memphis, where I went to school at, and I officially transitioned from Astro to Wave Chapelle. And the name pretty much I actually had the name while I was in the group, but like, you know what I'm saying? It was kind of like more of like a nickname or
Mhm.
like a alias almost, you know what I'm saying? Um, Everybody would just call me Wavy all the time. Like my style of dress, the way I would rap, stuff like that. People would say, "Oh, like he Wavy," you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that stuck with me. And bro, we had like this crib. We didn't have no cable though, right? Like we had an apartment. We had an apartment, but we didn't have no cable. And we would watch for entertainment. We watch Dave Chappelle DVDs like all day, right? So like we just chill, watch Dave Chappelle all day. And I'm just like, one day, I ain't gonna lie, I was high, and I'm like, man, I'm like, people love Dave Chappelle, bro. And I'm like, Dave, wait. It is like light bulb moment, bro. I'm like, Wave Chappelle. You know what I'm saying? And so at first it was my Twitter handle, and eventually just became my full rap name. And I ran with it, bro. So yeah, that's how Wave Chappelle was kind of birthed.
Oh, for sure, man. That's a dope ass story. I'm glad you gave us that, bro. That's what's up.
Yeah,
I love when things like that happen, because I feel like when things happen like that organically, like that's when you just know like that's something that was really ordained or like destined to happen for
right.
sure.
And it's really dope because it's like with that name, it's like one, the familiarity, and then two, it's like it's gonna make you feel something, right? You're either gonna hate it or you're gonna think it's really, really funny and you're gonna remember it. So like it's something that I was just like, all right, bet. Yeah, I think I can really run with that.
For sure, for sure. Nah, I definitely get it.
Yeah.
University of Memphis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. So how was it? I mean, well, one, I think the conversation with your cousin was really important because, as I'm pretty sure you know, like so many people from the city, especially like those that are
Mhm.
talented. And I mean, that's a whole different conversation of getting to like how the city is and how like it can swallow up a lot of us. But
Right.
it is important for some of us to get that experience outside of it, even if you do make your way back.
Mhm.
I don't think people understand like how
Expand.
small, yeah, like how much expanded we can really what I'm trying to say, like how far we can expand like our worldview and just our perspective in general, because Milwaukee,
Mhm.
like while it's home for us, like only we really understand like the love
Right.
we have for it, but
Yep.
like we got to get out of it to just see like, yo, it's a lot going on outside of like what we're seeing. And so I'm just
Yeah.
really glad that you had somebody, because I had an older cousin that it
Mhm.
wasn't in regards to rap obviously, but just even in a general sense, he's like,
Yeah.
look, cuz you need to go see something else, go be somewhere
Uh-huh.
sometime. Like this will be here. Your moms
Right.
will be here. Like this ain't going nowhere. Go experience that. So I'm glad you had somebody in your corner telling you that. But
Right.
what was that? Yeah, my bad. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, just to piggyback off what you were saying, bro, like it's definitely not just for artists, but just as humans and people in Milwaukee, like you were saying, like it's super important for us to expand because we can be so caught up, we could be so close to the tree, you know what I'm saying, of Milwaukee that we don't see the forest of the world, you know what I'm saying? And just something like going to Chicago or like getting out of like our neighborhoods can open up a whole nother area of our mind, you know what I'm saying, letting us know, man, it's whole other people over here that live this way, and just taking all these pieces of information from different walks of life, cultures, all of that. So yeah, just to attest to what you were saying, like bro, it's super important, and we all need that person in our life, whether it's our cousin, whether it's the homie, whoever it is, like we need that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, nah, absolutely, absolutely, bro. University of Memphis. How was college, bro? Like, how was that? Like, even outside of rap, like, just what was like that? Well, not even outside of it. What was college like for you? But what was it like being an artist on a campus like University of Memphis?
Yeah, bro. So college was crazy for me, bro. Because one, I was going to a city that I've been there before because I got family out there. Like my pops was living there, but I never been. I felt like I was in. I had just graduated high school, so it was more like I'm experiencing it from an adult standpoint. So I didn't really have no homies like that. Like I don't really know that many people, So it was different. It was very different. I had to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like on campus, it was like, obviously I'm dressed a certain way, I talk a certain way, and they don't feel me. So they was like, boy, where you from, man? Hey, man, look, hey, listen, we don't know what you talking about, man. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a whole nother experience, but it was dope though. I needed that because, like I said, prior to that, I would always run around with a group. You know what I'm saying? I was comfortable being with a group all the time. And what it taught me immediately was that I have to be comfortable with just being me, it's me, you know what I'm saying, by myself, or, even just approaching people, learning how to speak to people, learning how to network, the whole nine. But yeah, the campus was dope though. I ain't gonna lie. Like Memphis in general is a vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like they have a very distinct culture that's it's fun. The food is fire. Ching's Wings is one of the places that stands out to me. They got like the best wings. So if you're ever in Memphis, y'all need to stop at Ching's Wings. Shout out to the Jackson family. And yeah, man, no, it was dope, bro. Like I said, eventually like people started to warm up to me. And they low key, I know what it was. It's not that they didn't like me. They just didn't understand. They didn't understand it, right?
Yeah.
But once they got hip to what I was doing, people really like started to rock with me and really favored me because I was so different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's actually crazy you say that, but it makes a lot of sense because I haven't I know out of my group of homies, like it was a couple homies that went to school to play football, but at the time they only went to maybe like Iowa or they went to like Minnesota or they went to somewhere else in Wisconsin. But it wasn't too many young men that I knew. Let me say that. It wasn't too many young black men that I knew
Yeah,
that
no,
left and went to another university. But
yeah.
to the experience that you spoke of, because I went to college in Missouri.
Okay, got you.
And so when I went there, it was some of the similar experience of like just kind of like I don't get it. Like I don't know yet. Like I ain't never seen this before. Granted, the beauty of Missouri to me was it was a melting pot. So you had people from St. Louis and Kansas City, but you also had a lot of people from Chicago, had a lot of people from Texas. So it was a huge melting pot. But still, even within that, Milwaukee was the outlier. Not a single person, not a single other person was from Milwaukee. So I got everything from it's black people in Milwaukee. Oh, y'all wear J's in Milwaukee.
You know what I'm
What do y'all think this is? Where y'all think we come from?
Like if y'all came, like it's really like that. Like we really like that.
It's really like that. But no, it was cool though because, like you said, that idea that okay, I'm out here, I'm by myself. I'm away from the crib. I'm not a simple drive back to the crib. None of my homies down here. So it's just like, yeah, you are kind of on your own. But like you said, for me even as well, it helped me kind of just step into like, okay, nah. It's you. Like people gonna have to know who you are and stand on that. But that's a really good. If you have I won't say like it's an opportunity per se, like you should look for it. But if that's the situation you in, if that's the situation you in, that's a really good experience to have early on because it just really helps you out moving forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would agree.
So after University of Memphis, or even if it happened then, when's the big break? When does Wave Chapelle get his big break?
Yeah. So okay, I gotta add this in too. So I also had classes. So I was getting like a double experience. So I was taking classes at U of M, but I also had classes at the HBCU Lemoyne on.
Okay.
So I was getting like these two different worlds, at one time. But so the big break came, man. So boom. So I become Wave Chapelle. And I start working on music as I'm in college, right? And I'm learning how to network and I'm learning how to market. So I make a mixtape called "It'll All Make Sense Soon," right? With my guy Colway. Shout out to Colway. He's very pivotal in the the story of Wave Chapelle. Really, you know what I'm saying? Like this is the engineer that I met in Guitar Center. We met in Guitar Center, and through my pops actually, and we just got the working immediately. Made a project called "It'll All Make Sense Soon." And to accompany that, I was also dropping freestyles like crazy. Like I was working SoundCloud, like bro, like every week a freestyle, right? And I'm on Twitter with it. I'm on Instagram. I'm sending it to people, really like guerrilla networking it. And then I just kind of built the likeness around the schools or whatever. And the project got so popping, bro. The project got so popping that it got to Yo Gotti. He heard it through his cousin, you know what I'm saying? His cousin heard it, passed it to him, and Gotti was just like, he had to reach out. He was just like, yo, you popping in my city. So I'm trying to meet with you, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to see what's up. Like, I want to see if like how we can work together, anything. Cause at this point, like everybody's sharing the music. I'm performing everywhere. Um, and I gotta shout out these few people too. So shout out Colway, DJ Rocksteady, who was Young Dolph's DJ at the time. He was one of the first DJs that I met, and he liked me instantly. As soon as he met me, my first show that I went to in Memphis was actually a Young Dolph show. Took me to the Young Dolph show. Young Dolph had me backstage or whatever. Like I met him, everything. So it was super cool. But that part of the story is important because everybody knew who Rocksteady was. And if Rocksteady was rocking with me, then that's how, like, you know, literally that's like my plug, my outlet to the whole city. Cause he's on radio too. So, you know, it just snowball effect. Music gets to Gotti. He reaches out to me via Twitter. And next thing you know, we meet in his restaurant. We meet in Privé. Before it was even built, the restaurant's called Privé. It's actually a really fine restaurant. So if you're ever in Memphis, make sure y'all stop there. But I literally we sat in the booth, you know what I'm saying? And like just chopped it up. Like it's crazy.
Man, yeah, no. So two big things from everything you just said. So one, I definitely want you to touch on the sound, like being an artist in the SoundCloud era. Like that's so, I just feel like that's such a pivotal time before streaming was really a thing. Like the SoundCloud era is so pivotal to a lot of underground artists, like really like building the loyal fan bases that they have now. And then also you got to talk about meeting Gotti, bro. Like that, you just got to talk about like what that conversation was, what it was like, and then where your career went from there. But definitely touch on the SoundCloud era first, though.
For sure. So the SoundCloud era, bro, was like, it was something new because before SoundCloud, it was like you make your mixtape, you upload it to like live mixtapes or like Dat Piff or something like that.
Yeah.
No, that was like the main outlet for artists to upload they work or whatever. But when SoundCloud came, it was like, bro, it was like you're your own label. You know what I'm saying? Like you could drop your music at any moment, like at any time, long as you got a computer, you could go on SoundCloud and upload anything and drop it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so it was such a fire time because one, nobody else was like that at that time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Apple Music and Spotify was just coming around, but Spotify was free. I mean, SoundCloud was free, right? Like nobody had to pay for nothing. It's all free. So you got all the artists in the world were just dropping, including myself. And they don't limit how much you could drop. You could literally just continuously upload, share the link. And so, man, that's like the golden era, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Like the SoundCloud era meshed with the blog era, and you know what I'm saying? You combine it. It was like the perfect time because you don't necessarily need a label to do press for you because you upload to SoundCloud, you send your SoundCloud link to the blogs via email, and boom, now this is your press, right? So it kind of like just cut out a lot of the middleman. You know what I'm saying? Like now we not racing to try to get deals and stuff. We can literally be in our bedroom, re-recording it. We find a producer, we uploading it ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like we pushing it ourselves and we getting the press ourselves. So it was just like, man, it was like, what a time to be alive, bro, for like a new rapper. Like if you was like trying to be a rapper, that was like, man, sent from God for real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, I think all the music like that, even just as a listener that you found on SoundCloud during that time, because like you said, like you can do it yourself now. You don't have to depend on somebody else to get that song out there. And there are people looking for music. There are people looking for new artists. So I agree with you, the golden age for sure of like, nah, go get it yourself. Like ain't nothing else really in your way of getting this music out there, and then you just got to push it. So I definitely get that.
Yeah, it definitely empowered the independent artists. Like that was the first time as independent artists we've been empowered. You know what I'm saying? With the SoundCloud era.
For sure. Absolutely, man. The sit down with Gotti, man. What's the conversation like? Where does then from that conversation, where do things go, and what's like the next kind of like step, you know, in your trajectory at that point?
Yeah. So man, like meeting Gotti was I always tell people this. People always ask me, was I nervous? And I wasn't nervous because I think I had been, you know, I started doing music so early that I had met like, you know, other rappers prior to meeting them. And one thing I learned about like big artists, when you get around them, if you treat them like, you treat them like a regular person, then they respect that. They feel comfortable. They don't feel like you're gonna do anything like, erratic or anything like that. So I remember like I was nervous. I was nervous at first. But the whole car ride there, I'm like, oh shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to meet Gotti. But as soon as I walked in, I was poised and he was sitting at the table. Like he's very like, he's like a mob boss. You know what I'm saying? Like, not in a negative way, but just like as far as like just his whole aesthetic, the way he carry himself, the way he move, he's kind of like sitting at the table. You know what I'm saying? He's waiting, he's quiet. And yeah, but like when we talked, man, it was dope because like he just let me know how much he rocked with the music. And then also that he just wanted to help out. You know what I'm saying? Like he was like, how can we work together? You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like yo, here's this contract, sign it or else. You know what I'm saying? It was more like a partnership. You know what I'm saying? And I think he understands, like he's low-key smart. Like he's a genius. I always call him like Jay-Z of the South because the way he thinks is like a Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? But he's from Memphis. So it was dope though, man. Like we created a dope situation. He just, like I said, he really just wanted to help make it bigger and become a part of it. And so boom, we locked in. I signed to CMG. Epic Records was the father label. And man, it was off to the races from then, bro. I expressed to him that like, I'm a different artist, obviously. Like I'm not making club music and like, I'm from the hood, but like, my music ain't necessarily street music. So he was cool with it. You know what I'm saying? I was literally like, I was the Kanye of rock, and like how Kanye was with Rockefeller, I was like that to CMG. You know what I'm saying? Because I came in and it was Snooty Wild, there was Black Youngster, there was Zilla, there was like, and these guys are like, these are like street niggas. You know what I'm saying? And so it was cool though, man. I felt embraced. I felt like and we was like, it was cool because I felt like I got to bring the artsy artist out of Gotti. Because you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like a lot of his music, he does aim to, make the singles and, have the street persona. But whenever I was around him and we were like in the studio together and like we would work on records together, I felt like I could really bring the artsy, like the rapper out. You know what I'm saying? Like our first joint together, I freestyled it and like made him want to like, made him want to like bar up, you know what I'm saying? Like not make it like a club record, but like, all right, I'm finna match you. And so we would do that a lot. Like we would like literally like low key battle each other in the studio. Yeah.
Nah, hey, that's what's up, man. Like not a lot of people get to say that, obviously. Yeah. So no, that's what's up, man. That just sounds like an extremely dope experience. How many projects were you able to drop under the label?
3. So we did 3. I re-released It'll All Make Sense Soon under CMG Epic Records. We did the collab project with all the artists. It was a chapter 1. We did that, and then Only the Beginning, which was crazy. Only the Beginning is like the one that kind of like blew me up. But yeah, I dropped Only the Beginning under CMG Epic Records too.
Okay, and Only the Beginning dropped which year? My apologies.
Oh, that was 2015, I think late 2015 or early 2016.
Okay.
One of those.
Okay. So you dropped that last record. You continue to blow up. What's next? What's next from there? Like, do you stay? Is there some type of, what's the conversation of, do y'all renegotiate? Was it was it a peaceful split? Like how did all that go?
Yeah, no, I got you. It was definitely peaceful. Like I think because his whole goal anyway is to like, his whole motto is like, we make bosses. You know what I'm saying? Like he want to see all his artists eventually become bosses anyway. So I felt like the type of artist I am, I just needed to, I don't know. I felt like I just needed to like kind of go independent, man, so I could like steer the ship and like, you know what I'm saying? But it was respectable. It was dope. Like you know what I'm saying? We reached out, we met, we had a conversation. And I tell people this, it's like a basketball or football player playing on a rookie contract. And then like, you ball out your rookie contract and now it's time to like, renegotiate. And you might feel like it's, you need to go this way instead of re-signing with the same team. So I think that's what it was for me. I was just like, cool. This was dope. I met the people and I still got these relationships till this day. So let me try my hand over in this direction. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So it was dope though, man. It was dope. It was listen, we did some legendary stuff from Talk to Him to the tours that I did. I did a full world tour with Currency, which was dope. I gotta throw this in there. I was the first artist from Milwaukee to sign a national record deal. You know what I'm saying? Like we could we could go back and look at the artists before me. And I think I was the first person to do that. I was able to break the door down for performing at Summerfest. So it was just a lot of dope things that I was able to do in that era. You know what I'm saying? Due to and with their help. You know what I'm saying? So, man, we did that. And so, after that, it was just time to go independent and see what I could do from there.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. First off, full tour Currency. That's crazy. I fuck with Currency heavy. So that was big for me. But so taking that leap. So you're with this label, you're with this major label, you have the backing of this major label. Obviously, you're successful and you made the decision, you want to go independent. Right. Talk about the faith that takes to be able to say like, I'm very appreciative of this. Like, because for a lot of people, it's very easy to just stay with the machine. Like, especially if you're getting success, like stay with the machine, like I can only get bigger. But I think a lot of artists don't necessarily look to, I won't say like they got to keep some type of integrity, because I don't think that's always the conversation. But some artists don't always, I don't want to say they don't believe in themselves either, but it's just difficult, at least I've seen or heard, for a lot of artists to branch off and just be confident in, I'm going to go independent and I'm going to steer the ship myself. So just talk about the faith of what it was like for you in that moment of making that decision. And then ultimately, what were your kind of like first steps, as you started branching out as an independent artist?
Yeah. So, man, I think it's funny because my decision to go to Memphis in general started with my cousin, conversation with my cousin. My decision to go independent was stemmed from a conversation with my cousin, the same one. And he was just, he's like he's big bro, you know what I'm saying? So you're going to bounce all these ideas off of him. And he was like, man, you could do it. You know what I'm saying? He just made me believe that, one, that I could do it. You know what I'm saying? It really gave me the faith and the belief that, I could unplug from this machine and still function, you know what I'm saying, on my own. And so sure enough, you know what I'm saying, he started to manage me. Like, instead of being an artist, like he started to manage me along with my guy Ross. And man, we got straight to work. I moved back to Milwaukee for a short tenure. I came back here to record an album, and this is where I met Brian. So I came back to Milwaukee to work on a project called W, which to me is my most important project. Well, at that time, I think I've eclipsed that at this point, but at that time, it was very important because I went independent, and then, along with that, like, people are front runners. So if they see you in the league, they're going to cheer you on. But if they feel like you're not in that same seat anymore, a lot of people start to lose faith. And I felt that around me. You know what I'm saying? I did feel that around me. You got the comments, you got the people, you fell off, you got dropped from the label, just all these negative things. And it was just like, man, one of the mottos that I always have is outdoing my prior self. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I did something really, really dope last year, my job and my goal is to outdo that the next year. So my mindset going into this, like, first year being independent was like, okay, this Wave Chapelle was dope. Like, right. Like I did all these things for the first time in Milwaukee. I got a big record deal, all of that. So I have to top this. How can I top this? And man, we went in the studio. It was me, Brian, who was at the time Maji Vu. Cherub was there. Four Keys was there. And we locked in, bro. And we made just the craziest project ever called W. The single was Overtime, which got 1 million plays. And so it was like a triumphant moment for me because I literally outdid all my projects that were on the label, like numbers wise. Like I crushed it. Like multi-million plays versus like a couple 100,000. You know what I'm saying? As an independent though. And that was like a very proud moment for me because I could look back and say, hey, I outdid my prior self. You know what I'm saying? And from that point, that was really like a lot of momentum for me. Like once I did that, I was like, okay, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like all the naysayers, I proved them wrong. Back against the wall, I dropped some of my best work ever. And it was like, and that was dope. That was like 2016, 2017.
Okay. Okay. Nah, definitely makes sense, man. That's beautiful, bro. And I think that when you have those triumphant moments, speak about what that's like for you as an artist, because for a lot of people, like you said, you're dealing with the negativity around you. You're dealing with people saying like, oh, you fell off, people that obviously like don't know the situation. They just talking the talk and they lose
Right.
faith because they're not seeing everything no more.
Right.
Like a lot of work is being done behind the scenes. So for like other independent artists or even like just smaller artists that are looking for that moment or working toward that moment, just speak again or go a little bit more in depth if you could about like how triumphant that moment was, and
Yeah.
more so what it kind of like reinforced for you moving forward and how it kind of solidified that like, no, I made the right decision going independent.
Yeah, no, it was man, it's one of the most gratifying feelings ever to bet on yourself and like and be right and come out on the on the winning end. And it's hard, don't get me wrong, it's very challenging. It takes a lot of takes a lot of faith, belief, self-motivation. Like your self-motivation battery has to be at an all-time high because you got all these forces that's going this way and you have to have the will and belief to like fight against it and go this way. You know what I'm saying? And like there were times, I ain't gonna lie, there were times where I literally in real life I felt I like watched people give up on me. You know what I'm saying? Like people that were in my corner reposting everything or just saying like, yo, we proud of this and that. I watched people start to like, oh man, nah, he ain't, we gonna let's distance ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it's like the equivalent of like a boxer. If you're a boxer and you winning all your fights in the first few years, and then maybe you lose a fight, and then like people start to like doubt you. So you know you just got to really dig in, and at that point, you know that's something that I did. I really challenged myself to improve as an artist, right, and make just even better music. You know what I'm saying? Because that was pivotal too. Like when I was going through the label situation, I was still growing. I was very young and trying to like, you know, sharpen my style and polish it to like a standard, a label standard, which was challenging in itself. But when I was independent, I really had time to just sit with myself, work on my craft, make this good, like really, really, really great music. And you know, it worked. And it, like I said, it takes dedication, it takes faith. It's not easy. You know what I'm saying? You got some days you got to look yourself in the mirror and be like, man, it's make or break time. You know what I'm saying? Like what we gonna do? And so that was really what the process was for me, like all 2016. And sure enough, like I said, and I didn't do it alone. Like I said, I had help. I had shout out my boy Seven, Ross, Maji, Brian, whatever we know him as, Sheila's son now.
Yeah.
He was very pivotal to that time too, because of the production was just amazing, bro.
Absolutely. Absolutely. W drops. Triumphant moment. It's amazing. What's next? What happens after that? Where do you take your career after that?
Yeah, so I ended up moving to LA. I started doing a lot of shows. I signed a distribution deal with Empire, which was dope. This is early. This is before Empire had like all these artists. And so, you know, we did distribution with them, which was dope because, you know, one, the fact that they wanted to just represent us on the distribution end. And, you know, it was up. It was lit. I was able to get my music placed on a lot of spots. I did like Sports Center, MTV, the whole nine. You know, we was getting them sync checks like crazy. So that was lit. And yeah, so after that, I was able to like really be an artist, like as a living, for a living. You know what I'm saying? Like it became my career at that point. Because I was independent. I was driving my own bus, you know what I'm saying? And it was dope. It was dope, man. So that pretty much went 2016 all the way to maybe like 2018. You know what I'm saying? So I was out in LA for maybe like a year and a half.
Okay.
Dropped a couple projects in between. But at that point, so boom, you have the triumphant moment. I'm making music. But then it kind of got weird with a lot of my guys, you know what I'm saying? Just like life in general. And I don't know if any other artists can relate, but when things are going really well for my music career, personally, things are crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's like the real life things. Okay, more like this. When I become Bruce Wayne, everything is crazy, but when I'm Batman, it's lit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's like a common theme in my life, and so that was very present through that time.
Yeah.
So I actually had to take a step back around like I said like 2018. I was very like low. I was low. You know what I'm saying? Like I needed to get back to the crib. I needed to find more inspiration. So I ended up going back to Memphis for a bit and just laying low, bro.
Okay. Yeah. And around what age was this for you? Like that time?
I would say like 20, man, hold up. Was I like 20? I was maybe like 22, 23.
Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I was gonna say, how did you? Man, I can't even imagine. How does being 22, 23, just being in your early 20s, but
Yeah.
dealing with that level of recognition,
Yeah.
acknowledgement, and then also understanding you in a space where you're still like learning who you are. Like you learn
Yeah.
who you are as an artist, maybe
Right.
even as a person, you're going through these different phases of like, nah, like I'm becoming an adult, I'm getting older, I'm seeing
Right.
more, I'm becoming responsible for more, or you may have
Uh-huh.
felt responsible for more. And then, like you
Right.
said, you spoke to everything around you. So
Mhm.
how did you navigate that time, like being that age? And do you look back at it now, kind of figuring or looking at it like, man, that's a really young age to kind of be navigating some of the things that it seems like you were alluding to?
Mm-hmm. Man, I would say it was tough, bro. I ain't gonna lie. And I didn't always handle everything the right way. I would totally I would admit that for sure. Cause you know, you're young and you have all these, it's like, I mean, I have mad analogies. So like, you know what I'm saying? Just bear
It's
with
all
me.
good. It's all
I
good.
talk in analogies, but like, you know, when Uncle Ben on Spider-Man said, yo, or no, it wasn't Uncle Ben, it was the auntie.
Mhm.
She was like, with great power comes great responsibility. You know what I'm saying? And so in real life, that was really the thing. Like with all this recognition, with all this responsibility, and all these things that are coming, like you have to handle it the right way. And I think being that young, I was trying to figure it out, and you know what I'm saying. I was
Yeah.
not always making the right decisions. You know what I'm saying. Like sometimes I would lead too much with the ego, or sometimes I would, um, you know, again, like I said, just not handle things the right way. So it was a learning curve for sure, and I think that was part of the reason that I had to take a step back because I'm like, bro, I'm mad young. I need to step back. I need to digest all of these things so I can, you know, I'm growing as a person, but I mean as an artist, but I gotta grow as a person too. So um yeah, bro, it's tough. It is tough.
Man, no, I can only imagine. How much of that led into the pandemic, or how much of that process, like where does the pandemic fall in
Yeah.
how you were dealing with that?
Man, so literally, all right, so the pandemic, I literally that was like the full shutdown, right? So
Right.
like 2017 through 2018, I was like I was still dropping like singles here and there. Like I was trying to push through, but I knew that I mentally I wasn't good. But I was trying to push through. 2020 when the pandemic hit, I was like, all right, like, you know what I'm saying? I need to press the pause button. I cut my hair. Like I literally had, bro, I had these long locks. I cut the hair. I needed a full reset. So I didn't drop music like the whole year. And I was actually contemplating quitting. Like I was like, look, I did these great things. I did some really, really fine things. I had a deal. I traveled the world, bro. Like I've met, you name it. I've met Drake, Diddy, Meek Mill, like all these people, you name it. And I did all these things by like 25, 26. You know what I'm saying? And so at that point, I'm just like, bro, I was really contemplating like being done with music and like going in another direction, maybe mentoring or whatever. And I'm trying to think what got me out of the funk. I cut my hair off. Oh, I know what it was. So the whole year I didn't drop no music. It was my guy Dakota and my guy Mana Beats. Thank God for these brothers, man. I'm telling you, like these dudes really brought me out the funk for real. So yeah, I think that end of that year is when I met them and like we fully locked in. Yep.
Okay, so you thought this was the end of 2020, you saying? Or
Yeah. So
oh,
like going towards the end of 2020. Yep.
yeah. Okay. Okay, so end of 2020, I mean the pandemic itself was crazy.
Crazy.
That's a whole nother thing. Just crazy to even say that we've experienced that,
Yeah.
as a people. But So moving forward, like we're going into 21. What's this new era of Wave Chapelle look like?
Yeah. So let me add this. Okay. So the end of 2020, I end up moving to Atlanta.
Okay.
I end up moving to Atlanta. I met Dakota, he's an engineer, Grammy Award winning engineer. Shout out to him. I met him, and it was crazy. Let me tell this story. So when we met, we was in the studio, right? And you know, when you in the studio with an engineer, I'm thinking like I'm finna make some music, right? Like I was going with the intent to make music, and we ended up just talking the whole session, right? We talked the whole session, and he was just like, bro, like, you know, I would love to work with you. And you know, you meet people all the time, and they be like, yo, let's work. And we followed through or whatever. And he just kept like looking out for me too. Like he wasn't making me pay for the sessions and like all this stuff. He just wanted to build with me. And then eventually he brought Men of Beats around, who was like, that's his man's. And so we became like this team. Like we really became a team. And we made a project called Waves Don't Die. At the end of 2020, I released it in 2020. And it was crazy because it was literally like a reset for me. Like I said, I cut my hair. Everything that I posted became black and white, right? Because I was like, this is the refresh. It's a new wave. I don't want people to associate any color, any look. So everything's black and white. And the project is called Waves Don't Die because they don't. They crash and then recreate, right? And it was symbolic of what I actually did in 2020. You know what I'm saying? Like I stopped, I crashed, and then I recreate, another wave comes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so Waves Don't Die was like the reset, which was literally like the end of 2020. And so the new era of 2021, so we did the black and white. Everything in 2021 was all color. And it was like, okay, with this reset, we're gonna, now that we have a new sound, we got new producers, we got an engineer, we just gonna flood it. We're gonna flood it. We challenged ourselves to drop 52 songs in a year. Yeah, so, matter of fact, I'm finna show you. I'm finna show you.
Crazy.
It's crazy.
That's actually wild to think about. Doable if you pushing yourself, but man, a feat for sure.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was like a creative challenge for us, and to see like, you know, can we do it? And man, sure enough. So let's see. I gotta go down. And aesthetic is everything for me, right? So like the color, the whole black and white thing into the color, it was just so cold, bro. It was cold. All right, so let's start. We started at the beginning of the year, right? January 1st. All right, so boom, you can see it. So we did a song a week, one song a week for the whole year. So you got January, so this is all January, and then an EP at the end, right?
Okay.
Right. So all 4 weeks, and then an EP at the end. So this is the red pack. You do the orange pack, right? You got the yellow pack, green pack, and it just goes all the way: midnight blue, purple, sky blue, cream pack, brown, pink. Boom, this is the whole year right here. This is the end of the year right here.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all can see that, but yeah.
No, that's crazy. Yeah, no, we see the colors for sure.
Yeah. And so that was what 2021 was like. Okay, I stopped and came back in 2020, and now it's time to reestablish. It's trying to reestablish this new era of Wave Chapelle, and that's what 2021 was like: nonstop music every week for the whole year, 12 EPs, 53 songs.
Man, that's crazy, bro. That's a feat. It's always, whenever I'm able, or whenever I had the opportunity to like interview and talk to an artist, it's always crazy seeing the different challenges or the different like things they push themselves to do. Like from hearing stories of people making like 4 or 5 like songs that make a project in like one night, or like in a stretch of like, you know, 24 to 48 hours. It's like, bro, like what do you tap into? Like what do y'all call that? Like what do you tap into when you just hit a stride like that, where it's like, yo, this is just the mode I'm in, and ain't nothing really stopping me from completing this mission?
Yeah, I think it's a groove, really. It's a groove, right? Like, especially with me, Men of Beats, and Dakota, the way we work, we already make multiple songs a session. Like we'll do like 2 to 3 songs a session. And so like we get in the groove, but then you got the whole uploading process and finding the artwork and stuff like that. And shout out David. I cannot forget to shout out David, he executed all the artwork. So I would come up with the color and like maybe the aesthetic of it, and then he would execute it and get it to me on time every time. So shout out David. Um, but yeah, so I would just call it a groove, bro. You get those first few songs out the way, and
Mm.
then it's like now I'm in the swing. I'm writing every day. I'm recording like every other day. And so now next thing you know, we look up, we got like 200 songs in the vault to
Mm.
just, we and our thing was we're always gonna be a month ahead. Like
Mm.
let's beat the months. So we work, 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 work. All right, boom. We don't take these four. All right, this is for this month. And now so in January, we was already in February.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that was the challenge of it. But yeah, bro, I really do think that artists, especially like music artists, like we can find these grooves, and now we rolling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it makes sense, man. So from 2021, from 52 songs, 12 EPs, from that time and era to now,
Mm-hmm.
what does that look like? What has that been? Because of course, when I started knowing you, or when I got introduced to you, even virtually,
Yeah.
by Brian, like you're doing things with the Bucks now, like you're still dropping projects and everything. But where are you at now as an artist with everything that you kind of have your hands in?
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's dope, bro. It's really, really dope because remember I was telling you that theme of like being able to outdo myself or my prior self.
Yeah.
And this is not necessarily even music related. I think it's just life related. I think a lot of times at least in America, there's this stigma on growing older, like getting older, and
Mm.
people they always be like, all your earlier stuff is your best stuff.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Or like you can't almost like as you get older, you can't still be great, if not greater than you were, at this time. You know what I'm saying? And I hear that a lot, not even with just music, but it's like, oh, bro, you was so cold back then at basketball, or bro, you was so cold at filmmaking then, or you was so fresh then. But it's
Yeah.
like, nah, bro, like I'm of the mindset of that, you know, no, I can be even better as I'm getting older. You know what I'm saying? A la LeBron James, like my man's is going crazy. He's 38 and still, balling at a high level, or somebody like Jay-Z who can drop 444 at 40 years old, which is arguably better than, maybe the Black album or Blueprint. You know what I'm saying? So seeing that's always been my mindset. And so to bring it full circle to like now and me being an artist now, man, Wave Chapelle in 2016 wasn't an ambassador for the Bucks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wave Chapelle in 2014, who was on CMG, he didn't perform halftime at the Bucks at the Pfizer Forum. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And so I feel like I'm beating these guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm beating my prior self now. I'm super not to sound like a narcissist, but I'm very proud of myself now. Just seeing my journey and seeing the fact that I'm still elevating. I'm still breaking through. I'm still having new career highs, if that, what I'm saying, if that makes sense. It's like it's dope. It's a dope feeling. And right now I am working on a project. So I'm working on an album. It's a collab project with Mana Beats. And with this project, he's been producing a lot of the music prior, but this time around, I want to really bring him to the forefront, and as if he's an artist too. You know what I'm saying? So we're on the artwork together. His name is going to be on all of the songs and stuff. So it's Wave Chapelle and Mana Beats. The album is called Can't Stop, Won't Stop, which is very fitting because throughout my whole career, it's like I can't stop and I won't stop. You know what I'm saying? So that's been really dope. Our first single drops on the 24th, which is next week. Song's called Already, super hard. And then we're just gonna roll out a bunch of singles after that. And the project is slated to drop May 5th. So if y'all watching this, write it down, mark it on your calendar, put it on Apple Music, whatever, Spotify. May 5th, Can't Stop, Won't Stop drops a collab album with me and Men of Beats. So yeah, so that's been dope. The music is crazy. I am an official Bucks ambassador, which is amazing because I'm from here, born and raised, and it's a dream to not only be in the arena, but like these people know who I am and they work with me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm really like a part of the team. So that's dope. And then I'm a father now, so I'm super proud of
Congrats,
that.
man.
Thank
Congrats.
you, bro. Thank you. So that's at the forefront, just being a dad. And then another thing too, like even this right here, like my main thing was moving back from Atlanta to here. I really want to tap into like I just want to be of service, honestly. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to tap into the podcast and maybe the radio station or maybe a brand that needs a photo shoot. You know, I just want to lend what I can uh and just give it back to Milwaukee. You know what I'm saying? Because ultimately that's something that I want to do anyway is
Yeah.
take all these great things, all this knowledge, all the relationships that I have, and plug my city because that's what it's all about, really.
Man, nah, absolutely. One, I don't think being proud of yourself is narcissistic in any
Yeah, yeah,
whatsoever. But no, I think it's amazing when because so many people leave the city and don't want to do nothing for it or don't
mm-hmm.
want to help pour back into it. So I think when you have people that have went to go achieve the success that you have, and you
Mm-hmm.
come back and you saying like you just have this intention of like, no, like what's ever needed, wherever it's at, I just
Right.
want to make sure y'all know y'all got people from here that's left
Mm-hmm.
that done seen more, but I'm letting
Mm-hmm.
you know where the stage you in right now, like, nah, like you can get there. Like whatever your goal is, whether it's within the city, whether you want to leave, whatever the case may be,
Mm-hmm.
it's all feasible, but we need people to come back and not even so much show us, but you just need that energy. You just need
Yeah.
that. You just need that love from your city, like you said, like plugging my. That's why I love having guests from the city on here because it's like everybody know me, and I feel like for a lot of people, at least in this sphere of the world, where I've been for some time,
Yeah.
I'm the only kind of thing of Milwaukee that they see. So I'm like, if they
Right.
see me talking, it's like, nah, like okay, I see how the mentalities are similar.
Mm-hmm.
see it now. I kind of get what the pulse of that city is. That's what I
Right.
aim for as well, man. So
Yeah.
I definitely agree. Okay. Last and final question. Everybody
Uh-huh.
that comes on the show has to answer it.
All
You've
right.
talked about starting music at an early age. You talked about the trials and tribulations of a career, like starting in a group, going solo, being
Yeah.
signed to a major label, going independent, all
Yep.
of these things. There's a lot of people that don't get to see all those phases. There are a lot of
Right.
people that don't stand tall through, crashing and hitting that wall.
Right.
Just to do all of that. So tell the people what
Mm-hmm.
makes Wave Chapelle qualified.
What makes me qualified is that I'm true to myself. I'm a firm believer in in doing the work. You know what I'm saying? And I think I don't know many people with more of a like a self motivation battery than me. Like I have like a super high drive of like self motivation. So it's like if all this fails, I'm gonna get it done. You know what I'm saying? Like no matter what, I'm gonna get it done. And I think that's what makes me qualified is that, you know what I'm saying? I'm really down to do the work and also that I stand on my morals. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not easy to be in this artist space and stand on morals. You know what I'm saying? It's so easy to like just do anything for a like, a click, a follow, a share. You know what I'm saying? But it really, really means something when you can do this thing at a high level and stand on your morals at the same time. And so that's definitely what Wave Chapelle is about. And that right there is why I am qualified.
Man, beautiful answer, man. Beautiful answer. Man, if y'all ain't pick up a gem, if y'all ain't pick up something from the interview, if y'all ain't catch the flexes, if y'all ain't see what's going on here, then I don't really
Yeah.
know what to tell y'all. But he dropped a lot of knowledge, man. Not even just for artists. I feel like just for life in general. If you from the city and you not supporting, definitely tap in on that front as well. And man, I just want to thank you for taking the time to allow me to interview you, bro. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. We've been communicating and trying to get this done for about a month or so. So glad we was able to actually find the time. But yeah, man, thank you again. And just before we go, let the people know where they can find you. Anything else? Well, you kind of like already dropped like the album and stuff, but anything additional you want them to look out for?
Yep. I'm gonna do it again. And also before I do it though, I want to say thank you, bro. Thank you for the platform. I think things like these are like really, really important, especially for the city, you know what I'm saying, for you allowing people like myself, artists or whatever, wherever walk of life they come from. It's important for us to have these platforms and be able to tell our story. So I want to say thank you for, having your platform and allowing me on to tell my story.
Of course, bro.
Yep. And so yeah, man, like I said, once again, March 24th, the single already drops. May 5th, the project Can't Stop, Won't Stop will be out. It's a collab project with me and Mena Beats. It's gonna be some fire music, it's gonna be some fire production. Make sure y'all go get that. And yeah, man, one more time, if you from Milwaukee, man, stay motivated, keep doing your thing, keep rocking. And for everybody out there, stay wavy. You know what I'm saying? Oh, and follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, follow me on TikTok, real Wave Chapelle, not the fake one, the real one. Yeah.
Hey, man, you heard it here. Y'all stay wavy. I'll catch y'all next week, man. Peace.